podcast of the great boy. Send your podcast of the great. Of the great boy. Hey, put you in your place, look. Leave your thoughts on the bar like Facebook. Yo, got that from great boy. Send your podcast to the great boy. Hey, put you in your place, look. Leave your thoughts on the bar like Facebook. Yo, got that from great boy. Send your podcast to the great boy. Great boy, 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 great boy. Send your podcast to the great boy. Send your podcast to the great boy. Send your podcast to the great boy. Podcast of the great boy. Send your podcast to the great boy. Send your podcast to the great.
I do not know as much about human relationships as I thought.
Hello and welcome to yet another week of the XP Esports Women's League. Things are coming along nicely. My name is Blue Panda. Joining me on the mic, of course, as per usual, it's Cthulhu. And Cthulhu coming into this week, I mean, the stage is being set for quite a banger of an end to the season. Anyone could really take it.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, we've seen initially at the beginning of the season quite a clear separation of four teams that were able to show some quite dominant performance. But going into week 2, week 3, look, we've seen some quite incredible turnarounds. And now, yeah, look, the leaderboard gets pretty much reshuffled every week.
And of course, as we do look at how things are going, we have a look at what's going on this week. Honestly, I'm pretty keen because given some of those matches that we will be playing, but I mean, so far there have been some stand-up performers, and I'm keen to see what they can do. But as we get into things, let's have a look at how things run. Of course, the league format is pretty stock standard. It's understandable. Everyone should be able to get it. 7 weeks around robin, 8 teams in total. You can see them on the left-hand side of your screen there. From there, the top 4 teams make it into the playoffs bracket. Semi-finals, best of 3 format for that one as well. And of course, top 2 make it all the way into the finals. 3rd and 4th have to battle it out to see who takes it in 3rd place. And well, Cthulhu, speaking of our teams, we have some bigger names this stage than we did last season.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, quite a fair few teams joined us for this season 6, being Overt, being Warriors, coming in for second 5, also coming in about. Also Vulpes and the rest of Viking Army, Fallen Angels, Radical Rebels, and Grumpy Grapes coming in to join and to have a banger of a season, honestly, because all of those 8 teams so far shown us some amazing plays and amazing prowess.
Well, I mean, look. We have had, obviously, we've had a couple of names come back into the season as well. There, you look at the likes of Aussie Princess, took a hiatus last season, has now come back, and the team is doing pretty stunningly, if we're being perfectly honest. And, seeing the likes of the Warriors and Forsaken 5 come in, Overt as well, picking up a roster, and Volpe is one of the newer teams on the scene. They've really, really, performed quite well. They've put on a commendable performance and really shown themselves to be some heavy competitors. But speaking of competitors, what they are playing for is the talking point next. There is a decent purse on the line. 1,500 for first place. Second takes away 1,000. Third bags himself 500 for a whopping 3,000 total.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, a plentiful amount of the incentive there for the teams. Plenty amount of reasoning, really, to go for the dubs, even if, say, you're not interested for some cloud or even the bragging rights. Money is always the way, well, to get people running and rolling. And honestly, yeah, look, this solid champions prize of $1,500 reduce is definitely waiting for the new champion.
Well, it's not the only thing that teams and players can bag themselves this season. Of course, there is the ZQ Racing MVP Award. You can pick yourself up a ZQ Racing gaming chair worth over $300 as well. And honestly, we've had some pretty competitive names take it away over the past seasons.
Oh yeah, some solid performances shown, and we're able to nab away the chairs from before. And huge shout out this time for this season to ZQ Racing for joining us again here, because look, we've all heard the stories, we've all heard the legends. The better your chair, the better your aim is.
Yeah, and in fact, it is the best thing that can decide whether or not you are, hitting your shots or not. Obviously, the second place item is RGB, and from there it's gaming socks, which, believe it or not, ZQ Racing has gaming socks. And Cthulhu and I, we both got ourselves a couple of pairs, and they are comfy as hell. So if you're looking in the market for some gaming socks to take you to the next level in your fragging potential, check out there, of course. But turning our attention to the way things are going to be going, the standings as they are at the moment, coming in off of last week. Warriors solidly at the top, undefeated so far. Overt currently sitting in second, having dropped a single map. Same with Viking Army and Forsaken Boba. Then you head towards the bottom 4. Vulpes, Grumpy Grapes, and Radical Rebels have all picked up one. Unfortunately, Fallen Angels have yet to get themselves a point on the board.
Yeah, for Fallen Angels, unfortunately, just things not been really looking particularly too favorable. They've tried their best. They've put up a decent fight where it could have been a decent fight, and look, unfortunately, just not yet making it. Whereas, yeah, on the side of teams like Grumpy Grapes, on the side of teams like Viking Army, they've been putting in the hard yards. They had a bit of a rough start, but ever since then, they've been putting in the numbers quite consistently.
And as we cast our eyes to this week's matches, of course, and seeing where things will be played out here on the mainstream. Up first, it is Radical Rebels taking on Viking Army. We will be covering that one here on the mainstream. Fallen Angels versus Grumpy Grapes is going to be played off stream. The community broadcast over on the B stream will be taken care of Overt and the Warriors. And then we close out the night with Forsaken Boba and Volpez Gaming. So we could see some new teams cracking into the top four after tonight.
100%. Look, for teams like Radical Rebels and Viking Army, this is going to be quite a huge matchup, because for Viking Army, if they secure yet another dub for themselves, they keep themselves really well entrenched in that top four position. On the side of Radical Rebels, this is a chance for them to finally crack that top four and get in there, even for, if it means for a brief moment. Regardless of that, it still could be a huge upset, given the fact how well Viking Army so far have been putting up.
And what would teams be without their players, of course? Up first, we jump on, and I believe it is to Radical Rebels, and having a look at their players. Of course, Mystique, Zero Prince, Aussie Ash, Alora, and Corvice. Now, these girls, they do have Weaselant Meeps in his subs and Ulska in as a coach. They've got a bit of backing behind the scenes, and they have honestly been able to pull off some pretty audacious stuff over the first couple of weeks of play.
Oh, yeah. All of those players from RDC were just showing us some absolutely amazing, and kind of even when the rounds were lost, some of the performances were just absolutely out of the blue and showing us some great things. Albeit in saying that as well, a few hiccups still yet to be patched up.
And their opponents, of course, this evening, none other than, well, it's the girls over at the Viking Army, gone as L, M, and Weird One. And look, this is a team of gunners. Let's be perfectly honest. They are kind of correct when it comes to the sticks, as in particular last week went to work bullying their opponents with a blitz on Chalet, nonetheless. So this team here could be a bit of a dark horse in the competition.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, Viking Army certainly been putting in quite some numbers, given the fact that, yeah, look, Gone, Walkabouts, as Ellie, and Weird One as well. Look, they've borderline already now can be considered the veterans of the scene, and honestly, rightfully so, they've been a formidable set of players.
And from here, we need to figure out where they're going to be playing, of course. The arena where they will look to do combat tonight. Viking Army versus Radical Rebels so far in this competition. They've had a bit of work to do. Obviously, you're looking at the standings and trying to anticipate where things could go from here. Radical Rebels took down FA on Villa in week 2. They also just cracked into overtime. They almost took the victory against Overt in week 3. So Radical Rebels definitely could be a bit of an upset here as well. But of course, going to Cafe Dostoevsky, an old tried true map. Are we expecting anything crazy in terms of spawn peaks and early aggression?
Oh, I will say probably not yet. At least in the early rounds, I doubt that we are going to be seeing anything too audacious. It is going to be a very kind of very by the book, I would imagine. Siege, a few attempts at some cheeky tries, maybe a rush here and there from the attack, but apart from that, I think that is going to be just about it, really. And look, why don't we go get straight on to it? We'll have a look at Cafe and get ourselves keen.
Cafe Dostoevsky, and well, this week we have a new name here. Proto last week stepped in to help Cthulhu. This time he's taken care of the observing, so Cthulhu has less to worry about. Going into
Cthulhu
this
just doesn't have enough brain cells.
Yeah, look, it is just one of those weeks with Radical Rebels starting off on the defense, Viking Army kicking things off in the attack. Do you reckon that could be a determining factor in how the map plays out?
Look, I think that it is going to definitely, for Radical Rebels, this could help them get some early advantage. It's the fact that they would still need to, perform quite well on the attack is still there, but getting some early, jitters sorted out on a bit more of a quote-unquote more passive position, or rather passive side, should allow them to, get past all the issues. So by far, yeah, this is kind of one of the better case scenarios for them.
Well, as we get in onto the bands, Thatcher and Jackal taken off the board immediately. Understandable on this map, although, I mean, we have seen teams somewhat deviate away from the Thatcher, focusing more on, that guaranteed breach utility.
Yeah, I was more so actually leaning towards the Jackal one, because Thatcher, yeah, look, he's still in the current meta, is incredibly powerful. He can, help with the hard breaches quite a whole lot, help with the pushes, disable some of those traps that could be brought on board. With Jackal, kind of, he's more so just, it's a comfort ban. You don't want to deal with him, you don't want to deal with those pings. Now this one, the smoke one, this is a huge... Because you pretty much now relying on somebody like Echo to do all the last moment plant preventions.
Got a little bit upset about that after the ban. Look, I can understand. Oh no, yeah. Al. Oh no, what have we got here? Did you hear what happened to the wooden car? It would on.
Well, it was nice seeing Radical Rebels. Well, not Radical Rebels, pardon me. VA. Nice seeing them in a competition.
I'm just gonna say, leave it to Kotari. She has the dad jokes in the bag. That one, not quite on the mark, unfortunately. No, look, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Ayo from LA. Yeah, look. Regardless of the memes and of some of the more mediocre dad jokes that we do receive here, Radical Rebels kicking things off on the attack. On the attack. What is happening? On the defense and on the top part of the bar against the attacking Viking army, looking to do quite a solid job at just slowing things down, because you look at the picks of Zero for Clash, we do have the Frost Mats as well, so any kind of aggressive jump in could be extremely painful for the attack, and Zero would be probably one of the key operators and players here for RDC to get any kind of traction on board.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to the coordination. It's B for Valkyrie. All right, okay. I'm looking to the coordination of M and Az. Obviously, the IQ scanner gives that information through. Then the laser drone now should be able to be used to clear out a lot of this utility. I mean, they've got the setup for a pixel hold. They do have the shield. They have the Wemai and the Jaeger combo, plus a Clash going to be roaming around. And it looks like even Zero is going to look to get aggressive on this top red stairs position below the hatch. Honestly, they need to clear that utility out. They need to be able to contest from behind. And this shock drone, the more it can clear out, the better. This gets very, very dangerous for Zero.
Yeah, Zero, especially being quite up close and personal with some of those positions, could be in a whole lot of trouble and could get overpowered very quickly. But with the fact that there is some presence up on the red stairs as well, this could be able to negate, at least slow down maybe even the push. But, well, I say that Mystique gets fragged out quite quickly by a weird one.
Looking for more, they do drop themselves in. Mystique after the board is not the worst. I mean, the Clash is definitely still going to be a tool here. The longer you can keep Zero alive, the better. But as not having a bar of it, looks to get aggressive with that F2. Now it takes control of Cigar Shop, and from here they can mount a very convincing attack.
A huge misplay there from Radical Rebels. Kovais wasn't there to cover the position of the Clash, and really was, well, Zero was left to her own utility. But at the moment, 3v5 was so much time still there in the hands of Viking Army, looking to pretty much dominate this round through and through.
They look to push on, take control of that white corridor. Contest Cocktail, but it's Kovais with the MP5 to shut down Weird. Unfortunately, while that's going on, Ash drops to Az, who finds himself a second with that F2 going pretty big. Allura looking to hold down Cocktail with it. 9 mil, it's not the greatest gun and not a huge amount of health to be played on, and M's going to tag her through the wall. Even with a headshot, the health difference isn't going to matter. Looking for more. Kovais bags his second. Unfortunately, it can't be a third, as Az is on the hunt and finds the closer.
There we go. Viking Army doing a solid job there and cleaning things out quite well, realizing that each one of those initial operators of the defense pretty much was separated with no support whatsoever. Took them all in 1v1 fashion and quite easily took control of the site. I mean, Az's push in tandem with Weird One certainly shown some great promise.
That's my teammate dropping Skylight. Indeed it is. Look, honestly, it was a pretty convincing attack there from Viking Army. They identified the initial problem, which was going to be Zero. They were able to find the kill onto Mystique as well. So they drop down, they clear it out, and then from there, they just march on through the site. And in fact, the way they pinched on, they had players contesting into bar itself, players pushing along towards the top white stairs position. So the way they approached it, there was very little that Radical Rebels could do.
In saying that, Radical Rebels will try the site once again, but this time it's a much more of a open kind of situation, open area scenario, where they have now a much longer angle from that pixel position into the bar, which should allow some nice crossfire in case the piano won't be cleared out like it was previously, which in return, well, should allow Radical Rebels to at the very least slow things down the push, slow down any kind of aggression, and kind of stall out that play that Viking Army so far were able to instill on this whole position. Because apart from that, Viking Army, really all they did was funnel themselves for the single position. Yes, there was a drop down through Skylight, but really ultimately, by that time, the damage has been already dealt to RDC, and at this point just go crazy and frag out. So at this point, if Viking Army can once again take very firm, very early control of Red Stairs, then Cigar Shop, then Piano, that's it. GG, easy win.
That's exactly it. Well, Viking Army not going to waste any more time getting onto the roof once again. Gone! Takes out Allura, so the mute off the board. That's a Nitro Cell as well, taken out of the mix, and Az is just going to drives through with her drone and look to clear this utility out, and she's going to have a pretty free time of it as well. Deals with, I believe it was probably an ADS behind that pixel shield, and Zero now not nearly as secure as she was moments ago.
Now looking to try to play for the element of surprise, but with the DP27 she will need to land all of her shots. The element of surprise is pretty much now gone with the Shumicha launcher now popping off, but that utility could actually work out quite well in a similar fashion how Smoke it would be, but again it's kind of a bit of a coin toss there in looking to try to do anything, but that long angle pretty much solves it all.
Well, Gone is back at it again. The Fragmite coming heavily into play. Somehow makes her way into the site. It's looking to get a bit cheeky with some of these positions. Wants a better site position in the site to plant. It will be right behind the bar as well. Looking for the Nitro deny. Unfortunately, Aussie Ash isn't able to hit it, but Mystique crawling on up. Denies the plant in the end. Looking for a second. Can't bag it. And it's M to close out Aussie Ash, which would have been that vertical threat contesting it. Mystique finds one. Corvice there as well to bag the down. Ooh. And all of a sudden, we're back in a 2 versus 2 with just over a minute to play, and Weird One still on the floor.
With Weird One down, it's all down to M. She does have full HP, so technically taking the gunfights against Corvice and Mystique could be good, but the res is there. Back to a 2v2. Minute to go, so plenty of time to really go around, and there we go. Crisp, clean headshot. Or rather, body shot.
I mean, look, it's a kill nonetheless. Corvice now below half, tucked in on Cocktail, looking for the angle. Weird One has an inkling. I mean, of course, you'd have an idea, this could be big. The lifeline through, and the concussions will hit, so they have that confirmation, looking for spray through the wall. M has the diffuser as well. So they could tuck in at the other end of bar, look to go for that plant, but Corvice looking to get aggressive, walk straight into the waiting arms of Weird One. Viking Army, 2 in a row.
Nice, clean play, solid coordination and recovery. Viking Army, despite the huge hiccup that happened upon them during that attempt to clear out the Cocktail Lounge and Freezer, still managed to recover really well and done their job perfectly. So 2-0 so far advantage, seeing some good possibilities here. And for Radical Rebels, it still feels like they all, yes, they are a team, but they all playing for solo. And that's probably the most alarming thing here for RDC.
Yeah, it definitely has to be concerning. And you see the change up of operators once again. This time, you got to understand, it hasn't worked so far. Third floor is not something that you want to force the third round in a row. So they go into kitchen. They do bring out the Mozzie as well. So I would expect some sort of vertical extension, given that there is that ability to deny info. But without a mute, it's not nearly as effective.
Attackers have discovered the location.
Yeah, usually it's the mute and Mozzie combo that kicks in to help if you want to double down on just denying as much of that information from the attackers as possible. But seeing in this kind of scenario, it looks like it's just going to be an attempt to, I would imagine, maybe just close off some of the positions and not get droned out as quickly, and essentially borderline attempting to maybe play for kind of a last moment droning. Heck knows, but yeah. Could be curious. Maybe I'm trying to read in too much into that Mozzie peg, because apart from that, the rest of the roster is still looking pretty strong. I mean, you have the Cade to deny some of the hatches, you have the Chunker who could deny the push, but again, all of this can work, and all of this is a potent lineup, but if the teams are not playing coordinated fashion, this could be an issue, in the same fashion how Kovac just nearly got taken out.
Yeah, look, I think maybe it was trying to read into Az on her Twitch, which has been, I mean, unbelievably effective in those opening 2 rounds. Unfortunately for them, Az is now playing Ashe and rocking the 90 FOV. Looks like still, Az is just vibing right now around the Rita hatch. But Viking Army, they're going to take their time, look for that top-down clear once again. So it seems that maybe this pick of the Mozzie, I mean, yeah, it's still going to be pretty effective. That information has been absolutely key for the Viking Army. But again, I think they were reading too much into this Twitch pick.
Yeah. With them already pushing in, it's quite amusing to see IQ rather being kind of the spearhead of the push, but regardless of that, three-speed operator with quite a solid gun. Wouldn't put it past it. That's kind of the idea here. Already a collapse through the white stairs, though, is upon us.
They're going to get a bit aggressive if they can. L's drone is going to spot Aussie Ashe downstairs, and M is on the hunt, looking to capitalize on the information they were given. The weird one might even just push on
they
through,
don't know.
not quite respecting the fact that Mystique was roaming around as well. So they do find themselves the opener here, do Radical Rebels, but it's transitioning this into a round when they need to do.
That is a huge, huge misplay, because that could have been drawn out quite easily, and with Aussie Ashe bagging her second frag already, this is, or rather, pardon me, the second frag for the team, it is not looking too pretty, given that we're just possibly about to transcend into a 3v4 realm.
Mystique's down, so if they can find that info and condition themselves, sorry, not condition, transition, again, it's the word, it's just too hot here in New Zealand. If they transition that into a frag, they take down Mystique, and Zero absolutely caught unawares with the Shumika launcher in hand, so M takes that frag. It is now effectively a 3 vs 3 with no hope of redeeming Mystique in this round.
Not at all, and this is a much better situation for Viking Army. No, Mystique does get picked back up once again, but again, now it leaves the second floor still undroned, still unchecked. That collapse from above could really put a spanner in the works here, and right now it's the last kind of moment attempt to clear it all out. Mystique finds one, 4v2, 26 seconds. What more can there be done?
I mean, after going down as well, they're going to have to force on through here, Viking Army. They don't have a lot of time to work with, and they're going to have to rely on their gunfights. Gone, and M could do it, and M is going to bag her fifth. Unfortunately, Corvice there ready and waiting for the fragmite. M looks to get aggressive, does get the trade immediately. Through the rotate, finds a fourth as well. It's going to have to be an ace clutch to bag it. No! Caught on the rotate. Mystique, from being downed earlier in the round, is able to clutch up.
Quite an unfortunate situation for M, but well done for Mystique, and keeping up that pressure throughout the whole round on the second floor. Pretty much did the right job there for Radical Rebels to claim their first win here in the matchup. So round 4, going into now Reading Room and Fireplace, we finally do see that mid position in the building site. Honestly, it could be huge, and that Mutant Mozzie combo finally coming out, now meaning that there's even less possibilities for Viking Army to claim their dubs.
Zero picks up the pulse this time around. Oh no. Az is heading straight back there, looking to get underway again. Last week she was bullying people on the blitz. This time, it's probably going to be the same.
Look, I rate the Blitz players, given the fact that in the current meta, in the current way how shields just generally interact with some of the gunfights, there are quite a fair few instances where you can shoot through the shield somehow magically, or, you know, the usual stuff with the shields apparently. And to people who can master and who can play a very dynamic shield play like on Blitz, like we've seen even back in OCL Stage 2 with Kraken and Hunter being just that catalyst, it is a huge boon to any of the teams that can perform that. So if Az can pull off some huge plays and swing the momentum in the favor of Viking Army, all the more chances for her.
Well, we'll have to see if she can pull it off. Last week on Chalet, she was doing some terrifying stuff and getting away with far more than she realistically should have. So here in Cafe, can she do the same? Look, they're into the round. They're looking to get themselves up again. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see that full send up onto the roof, or as maybe just going full send through small bay.
Yeah. Well, full send it is indeed. Az is going to try to maybe find a few frags on her way there, but it could be... No, never mind, not a top-down clear, but the first pressure point is going to be Train.
Oh, there's a player tucked into the corner as somehow is going to be able to take it. Zero is going to be absolutely kicking herself right now. Az had no right to walk away with the victory there. They're in, they're on site, and she's looking to keep clearing things out. Pistol out, looking for a second. Can she find it? No, Corvice from long range does shut it down. But the fact that M is now in the site and Ellie has found Mystique, this round is quickly spiraling out of control for the Radical Rebels.
With Gon already starting to go in for the plan, this is now going to turn the timer against the defense, which means the retake of the site with only just a minute elapsed.
Weird One finds Allura with the plant down in the first minute of play. Ellie swings, Corvice dies, and it's down to Aussie Ash. You look at the trade back with that Commando 9 from above, playing upstairs on the 3rd floor, and 32 seconds left in which to try and clutch it out. She's going to have to pull something pretty stunning out of the bag, if I'm being perfectly honest. You look at the angles that are being held.
No.
Oh, our M. That is dirty.
Damn.
That is not on. If she gets the kill here. Yeah, no. Okay, going for the one tap. Unfortunately misses it. Pulls out the Commando. Nitro Cell tossed. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. M hangs around for far too long. But with 10 seconds now remaining in play, Cthulhu, it's all but done.
Yeah, maybe a few chances to farm up a few more frags. Could have been there, but not even that is going to be allowed.
Oh, no.
Pardon me, through the wall. GG's, well done. Go on walkabout is just, yeah, hot. Very hot. But, look, Viking Army, they read into, well, partially read into this, partially get quite lucky with some of those picks, because I would imagine that, given the fact that it was quite a very thorough, very quick rush, partially, it came down to luck that RDC just didn't realize quickly enough that there was going to be a rush. Partially, maybe it's just Viking Army just knew exactly what to do and just sent it. So overall, well done by them.
Well, it is a round on the board, so it's not going to be a 4-0 for the Viking Army. But sorry, no, the other way around. It is going to be a 3rd round on the board for Viking Army after what was a bit of a dumpster, let's be honest. The fact that Az was able to get in as aggressively as she did without being contested, and even the one player that did contest, IQ was shooting, not IQ. There you go. That's the summary of why things went the way they did. But, I mean, there are no situations where a Blitz should be able to push through, take control of the site without there being any real contest other than the one player who died immediately.
Yeah, look. I'm even questioning that very first frag that Az was able to get, because usually, you know, the head of Blitz once he ADSs is quite exposed, so seeing that pulse got fragged out quite quickly is a bit of a head scratcher there. Apart from that, look, for Viking Army, they still got that 2-round buffer. They could still come out swinging, and it seems like maybe for Radical Rebels here, an idea of maybe going in for swings even harder could be also the play, but given the fact that for poor Zero Prince, poor Allura, just they can't seem to be able to find a ground, quite a few rounds felt like it was more so a 3v5 as it's just running around. Come on, get it. Open up, open up, open up. Oh no.
Gone again. I mean, it's only the 3rd kill in the round, but it feels like there's just been so many of them. Losing Corvice, who currently tied for top frags on the side of Radical Rebels. Viking Army, I mean, they're making quick work of this one.
Absolutely. Viking Army just feeling so much more coordinated, it feels, as well, against RDC, who just seeming to have quite a few issues in the communications department. But I say that C4 should have claimed the kill onto Ellie, but that puts her at a severe health disadvantage.
Yeah, and well, Az going to look to push on further, finds a kill for herself. That's the 2nd of the round. Zero answers back to that kill. A weird one, so Sophia off the board. Az, look, yeah, she's going to take that gunfight every single time. Pistol out, trying to spray through, but it's Allura to provide support. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter. It's a quick trade, a flurry of trades, in fact, is we see one drop down either side, leaving it in the hands of Mystic on the flank. She does find the kill on the gun, and Ellie as well. So now only a single round separating the teams going into the final round of the half.
Mystique going absolutely huge. Just doing some phenomenal job. But I do want to say the fact that both of the rounds were clutched out by Mystique, and those were the 2 rounds that Radical Rebels managed to score, is a sign for a mild amount of concern. I will say that. It's something that I reckon it's a good thing for Mystique that she can quite consistently pull off these kinds of plays, but in saying that, Radical Rebels need to make sure that they maybe even a bunch of changes in roles could be in place, because letting, say, somebody like Corvise die quite early on, that's not particularly good. Zero Prince been put on quite a few quite important in the long run roles, but unfortunately getting fragged out a fair few times on the defense right before the very important push happens is another problem. And it's just those all compounding small issues, something that RDC certainly need to look into going further into their next matches. But for the time being, as long as they can nail at least some form of coordination, I'd love that.
It's exactly it. I mean, it makes it doable, of course. So 2-3 half, and the fact that they were able to bounce back the way they did. I mean, they're finding the right marks that they need to. Unfortunately for them, it is a case of Viking Army have started off on the attack. They then head over to the defense, which more often than not seems to be the favoured side for ANZ teams. They just feel that much more comfortable on the defense. So hopefully that is not, the crux that will spell doom for them. But at the moment, an equal half for Radical Rebels is exactly the territory you want to find yourself in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For Radical Rebels, this will be a huge step up. They would need to make sure that this is as equal of a conclusion for the first half as it can possibly be, because attack is going to be rough. I'll say that straight off the bat. If Viking Army makes it a 4-2 scoreline, this is going to be theirs for the taking, this whole map.
Well, M is in. Obviously, first force sight. They're going to look to clear things out so the drones can now get deeper with that mute jammer being removed. As primed and ready, looking to get aggressive through the service door. But
I mean, look at this ground. Look at just the sheer amount, abundance of it that's just been given away. Usually you would have somebody already by the bakery trying to get into gunfights, but even that has not been done.
Well, there's explosions going out. I can't quite say whether that was a frag grenade. There's no nitro cells. All 4 of them are still in pockets. They haven't been used. And no, it was an exothermic in service. There we go. I have it. Finally there. And with a minute 10 only played now, the fact that they have so many avenues in to be able to contest this bomb site, Radical Rebels might let this one slip. It's
not looking really good. If they can find any kind of way of opening up that sidewall into the kitchen, that could be another huge play. But at the moment, being funneled through that one choke point could be an issue. Freezer is still left untouched, so right now it could be a bit of an oversight as Kovac just claims the life of Az.
That's exactly the kind of frag you need to take to open up these rounds if you're Radical Rebels. Az has been a thorn in the side. Unfortunately, not quite as many frags as M has found, but she's one that is not willing to shy away from the gunplay. Mystique finds the second of the round for the Radical Rebels. Unfortunately, it's answered back by 2 as M storms through bag in double digits. Weird one there helps secure an 11th kill for M after she downed.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, Zero Prince, who was on the site, they're going to be able to take control. They're going to be able to look for the plant. 1 player upstairs, 1 player on red stairs. It has quickly come apart for the Radical Rebels.
That is not good. That retake through the same funneled positions could be an issue. And Ellie, if she nails her shot, this could be huge at that very unconventional position as well. M has been doing a phenomenal job, and Weird One would be quite ready for the gunfight as well. And just like that, 1v3 with 28 seconds to go, all down to Aussie Ash to clutch it out.
Yeah, that was never a fight that Ellie was going to lose. And M, look at the hold the angle. We'll find potentially, no, a loss in that gunfight is Aussie Ash somehow able to capitalize and take her down. Leaves it to Ellie and Weird One. Nitro Cell toss, but you look at the crossfire. Weird One has the angle, and Ellie marching on through, having taken small bait control, finds the closer. That's a 4-2 half if I've ever seen one.
That was a clean deal there from Viking Army, doing some solid job. Scavenging, well, not scavenging, sorry. It's a bit of a strong statement, but the initial kind of momentum was slowed down a little bit, and they've seemingly acknowledge that Viking Army did a solid job, did their due diligence, opened up, and shout out to M as well for finding those few openings that she did, because that was pretty much the opener that the Viking Army needed for the push. And now with them on the defense, for Radical Rebels, it's looking to be a little bit dire, but I'm liking what they're bringing in. That Zero and Flores is the main two things that I want to outline, and in tandem, maybe even with Finka, those pushes by IQ and Zoff could do quite some damage.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defeated.
Well, Viking Army looking to head over to the defense, and do you see what I see, Cthulhu? Something down in that bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I am anticipating some aggression out of Az on the dock.
Uh-oh. Wait, I've completely skipped out on it. Was it a shotgun?
No. It's just a dock with an MP5. So, I mean,
yes.
I would be upset if we didn't see it a spawn peek attempt.
Yeah, look, that MP5 could actually dish out a hefty amount of damage, so wouldn't put it past that this could be the case here, could be the play. And look, yeah, there it is. There's the angle. Quite a disgusting one, might I add, and might just have the angle. There is somebody, two people spawned at docks. Can she land a shot? Oh,
they're hesitant. They are seeing the windows open, running out. Oh no! Nice close by a stream of bullets. And unfortunately for her, she will be not even able to deploy her cams in this round.
Ay, that's not good. That is a lot of damage in the utility department, and Az wants to keep on contesting those angles, despite how quickly she could be overthrown here. But it seems like at the moment this done just the right job at slowing down Radical Rebels, forcing them to re-rotate. And right now Az could find yet another frag, and she does. That's a headshot onto Mystique. That's the big clutch player as well. And now we already see Borderland left with barely any plays themselves.
Oh, the hatch above red opened up as well. Alora is in that position. I think if she sticks her head into the hatch, she is in trouble, and she's droning Newbelk as well. She thinks that someone else is there. Aussie Ash has an idea now that obviously there was some sort of contest coming their way. Now, off of that, Az will be forced away from the position, but that could have been absolute disaster.
100%, but already the damage has been done, the time has been wasted, 2 players found as well on top of that, and quite a hefty amount of utility deleted. So now it's down to essentially Aussie Ash, Allura, and Zero Prince to do all the breaching, all the fragging, and right now, well, with not a whole lot of breaching material, it's going to be even more difficult as Az just keeps on dwindling down those numbers.
She's got 3. Conceivably could find the ace here. Ooh, almost finds her 4th. And Ellie will deny the chance at an ace. It's down to Allura to hold on her own in Cigar Lounge for now. And M even looking to find one of her own with the secondary pistol in play. Allura, oh no, walking back into Cigar Shop. Az dropped with a long range headshot. Unfortunately, Allura no control over that diffuser, and M tucked into the corner. So does Allura know? Pre-fly through, so is anticipating that someone's there. M's going to cop a shot as well. This might be a case of just burning. Oh no, never mind. I thought it was going to be a case of burning time, but M hits the one tap, crisp and clean.
Yeah, M just doing some absolutely disgusting things with quite a fair few of those plays. She was hunting before for that famous one tap, and finally did manage to claim it. So, well, 5th point for Viking Army, spelling so far quite a confident performance for VA to push themselves further up on a leaderboard, whereas for Radical Rebels at the moment, it is looking very bleak.
Bleak indeed. I mean, it's not over until it's over, of course. We could still see overtime come into play, but Viking Army looking very comfortable. Az picks up the Valkyrie, so I'm honestly anticipating even more aggression from here. Some of those external cams before the changes do come through. Where do you reckon? Are we going to see like a Cigar Lounge spawn peak? Are we going to see a Christmas tree door run out? Do you think?
I'm thinking piano spawn peak could probably there, or maybe even by the minibar as well. Apart from that, I think Viking Army might just ease up a little bit more, given that, well, maybe Gone Walkabouts could have done some job about that, given that I think it is only Oryx with the T5 that has the 1.5 times scope for that gun. But apart from that, no, it seems like it's a very, very dialed down game, and it's just the Viking Army wants to nail their defense down to a T and then play about it.
Nothing. Oh no. Okay, there is a spawn peak in play over towards. There's two, in fact, in play right now. Gone.
Ooh.
And M looking for the aggressive angles from the appearance of things right now. Nothing found just yet. In fact, they're looking to get very aggressive. M with the secondary. M is preferring the pistol over the MP5, and I can kind of understand why in some of these situations. Nothing found, nothing gained, and Gone not even running that 1.5 times.
Yeah, it's a bit of a calm before the storm really here between the two teams. At the very least, RDC are not getting caught off on some of those spawn peaks. C4 already wasted by Ellie, and instead it's Az that uses her on C4. That's a goodbye to Allura. Not looking good yet again, and even just before they even made to the roof, it's already a player down.
And an IQ as well. That's pretty rough. They feel the Radical Rebels right now, and as looking for that long-range angle through the new hatch. Corvice, it's a pixel separating her from death right now, looking to get a bit aggressive. The pings to come through. Frag grenade prepped and ready. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it is going to land as scurries away to safety. And you can feel that palpable hesitation from Radical Rebels, and that cam up on the roof is just huge.
Oh yeah, the hesitation is huge here, albeit finally we do see a drop down from Corvice and Aussie Ash to try to get an opening. Zero Prince is the one to try to spearhead the push, but right now if they can take control of the piano, that could have been huge, but I say that Zero falls. Once again, it's a pure domination, and Az wants to keep on applying even more pressure from the outside. It's not looking good at all. VA are just stomping their opponents and looking to claim yet another one, a match point. Heli is just fiending on the SMG, looking to swing for maybe yet another one.
That secondary hard breach is... Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No, well,
shot.
Mystique's dead anyway, so she wouldn't have been pinched on. Corvice looking to get aggressive in towards Cigar right now, but we're close to a flawless. Let's ring around the Ozzy. Ali, unfortunately, will be dropped, so no flawless round here in the 8th. But on a 1 versus 4, Corvice with 47 seconds to play, that is a tall task at the best of times. And whoa, the lineup, the older, that could be Corvice in trouble, but no. Oh, no! M, no, that is not allowed.
Oh, that's naughty. Oh, that's naughty. Oh, that's naughty. That's disgusting, but also very nicely done. Look, so far, I do want to say, M definitely has earned the MVP for this matchup from me. She's been quite crucial for quite a few of the openers. In saying that, though, the whole Viking army has been performing really well. Usually we would outline 1 or 2 players and then call it a day and then say, oh, nah, the rest were kind of like, very average. The rest of the team so far have been very equally performing and putting in the time and the effort.
Honestly, at the moment, it's almost just a race for frags. Everyone on the team is like, no, I want these ones. You go find your own somewhere else. And Az a little bit upset by that, obviously, as we've seen in the last couple of rounds. She's looked to get pretty aggressive.
Absolutely. Az already on double digits. Amazon 13. Weird one. Unfortunately, I had a bit of a quieter game, but why would you even bother about that, given that your teammates just pretty much can keep on farming some of those frags? For Az, look, with Valkyrie, I definitely think that she could do quite some damage and already an attempt at possible spawn peak, or maybe just the throw out of the Valcam whilst they still can stay online for long.
Honestly, it could even just be mental warfare at the moment. Open the window, make them think there's a spawn peak coming, and they're going to be so hesitant to get inside the building that... Okay, yeah, okay. No, it's going to be a Christmas tree run out with the cam prepared. Straight onto it. Wrong cam. There we go. Right cam. Az is hunting.
Yeah, she's keen. She wants to find some form of frags, but instead it's Mystique. The hesitation actually kept her away from that. M finds her own one, and again, that's a huge frag. Probably one of the more impactful ones out of all of them, bar maybe fragging out Corvice, because with Mystique out of the equation...
Oh, no!
Oh, that's disgusting. She doesn't spot another one by the truck, and that finally does get fragged out, but by this point, damage already dealt.
Mystique, well, down 0 as well down. That's diffuser control for gone too. A Viking Army just really looking to twist the knife right now. They're one round away from picking up the win. They want to make sure that it happens sooner rather than later. I remember someone was saying they needed to go to bed, so I can understand why. Oh, no, gone. Caught with the Nitro Cell in hand, brings it to a 2-3-3. So doable, but unlikely.
Yeah, not particularly likely. And look, yeah, with VA still having the player advantage. Still, by the way, minute and 48 seconds to go, so plenty of time really to make a push, but Viking Army, they're just chilling, and Weird One might just be able to farm a frag here.
Weird One. Older 556. Just hold down mouse 1. Drone there. Good look to get aggressive. Besides, better of it for now. Scan through. And Aussie Ash trying to find the player. As Weird One stands up and finds her instead. 1 versus 3. At least Alora can look to get in halfway up the white stairs and has that diffuser control back in hand. Actually, no, I think it may have been outside in the first place. And M says, no, this one's mine. Oh, my lord. Good night, Alora.
Oh, jeez. GG, well played. Very dominating victory from VA. It's just M through and through. Well done. Not much to be said apart from the fact that it's just, yeah, VA coming into this season swinging.
Swinging indeed. They want to catch up to some of those contenders at the top of the leaderboard. And you look at the numbers, 15 and 5, a 3.0 KD coming in for M. I can do that math. That one's easy. Unfortunately, anything more complex is just a little bit hard. And the 7-2 result for them is pretty huge. Cthulhu, what a map. What a map indeed. They honestly took it up an entire level going into the defense.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, Viking Army doing pretty much all their work borderline perfectly well, punishing their opponents through and through, and not really giving a lot of ground to really take away by Radical Rebels. They've tried their best. Look, Mystique did manage to clutch out 2 of the rounds on the defense. From there on, it was borderline impossible to take any kind of dub there for Radical Rebels, and just a series of unfortunate events. Definitely, though, I do want to say something about their communication and the way how they coordinated some of the push, some of the defense rounds seemed a little bit off, so maybe some internal issues could be present.
Well, that is match 1 done. We are going to throw it to a bit of a break. When we come back, we'll break down the stats of map number 1 and look to head into our second and closing map of the evening. We'll be back very, very soon. We'll see you after the break.
getaway.
Carry on the battle song, the war's not over, the dawn's not that far away. Hop back on the saddle soon, you soulless soldier, the dark can consume your brain. All we ever wanted was a little air to breathe, but all we got are ashes of our old memories. They can try to take me down, but they can't take me to my knees. No, you'll never take
Hello and welcome back from the break here. We've had match one. Cthulhu's just chalked the mental of everyone on production. We won't go there. We'll look to carry on. We'll just act as if it didn't happen. I know, I sure as hell am. Match one done. We'll dive on into the breakdown before we head into our second match of the evening. Hot off the back of Viking Army picking up that win. It was a pretty solid one, a pretty convincing one. Radical Rebels, unfortunately, just weren't able to contest.
Yeah, look, unfortunately for RDC, just things didn't go too well. Maybe it was the cafe that they didn't really practice a whole lot. Maybe it was something in the communication. Just far too many things really ended up going wrong. And look, on the side of VA, two big players really came out swinging, and swing they did plentifully, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, M was hitting some dirty shots. I mean, you look at none other than that wall bang from Cocktail Balcony all the way through the cigar. And yeah, there you go. Stats on screen. M with a 10 kill differential, a 3.0, averaging 1.67 kills per round. And also, only tied for second highest survival rating behind Weed One. Her and L both with a 44%. Honestly, the numbers are pretty stacked on the side of Viking Army.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, Viking Army did a phenomenal job, and I've said this during the matchup as well. They've gone through a huge glow up as well, and seeing how well they so far performed, that's a good sign, really. And this win keeps them in that top 4 bracket and well and truly entrenched, really.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it was a pretty big performance. It does propel them quite nicely up the leaderboard, keeps them secure in that top 4 position for now. But we are done with match one. We head on into match 2, of course. It's our second matchup of the evening. And it is going to be Forsaken Boba versus Volpez Gaming, both in a position where they could, again, still contest that top 4 going into the end of the season. But they're going to have to start picking up the wins and not drop any more from here on out.
Yeah, really a similar thing could be really said here for Forsaken Boba as well. Like both of these rosters, as a matter of fact, had a bit of a bumpy road so far, but I definitely have to say going into this matchup, Forsaken Boba, at least in my eyes, will be one of the more favorites going into this one, despite the fact that, Volpez did manage to show us quite a few very impressive matchups.
Yeah, and well, let's dive on into the rosters themselves, get a better look at what we can be expecting coming into this matchup. Of course, Forsaken Boba first, and you look at the players on your screen: Fish Noodle, Diana, Chloe, Rappel, and Bubba, Bot, Buddha, whatever you want to call her. She keeps changing her name. We'll keep just giving her bits for it. But right now, this Forsaken roster, on paper, pretty stacked.
On paper, yeah, absolutely. Pretty stacked in the actual server. Look, they had a few hiccups, but against arguably one of the more powerful rosters, but overall still incredibly potent roster, incredibly frag-heavy roster as well. You look at Bot, you look at Chloe, you look at Diana, all packing in some huge numbers. Rappel and Fish Noodle, albeit they joined into Women's League slightly later on, and through the whole lifespan of the league, they've still been putting out quite some heat, pretty much day in and day out.
It's exactly it. And their opponents, of course, it is going to be Volpez Gaming, the newest roster in the newest. I mean, org, I suppose, in the scene, newly created there by Sporky, Angry, Sporky, MIA, Toki, and Peepo. You've then got a decent list of subs behind the scene, and they've got Ollie and Pew in as coaches.
Yeah, once again, yet another on paper stacked up roster that so far had a little bit of a shakier performance, arguably, throughout the season. But again, plenty of the performance possibilities, plenty of potential to keep on scoring dubs left, right, and center. Very stacked, even the sub players lineup as well, should they need that. And honestly, look, we've even had the whole meme going about Peepo's holy smokes Peepo, because she was able to frag out like it was nobody else's deal, really.
Yeah, like she had no business to be fragging out the way she was. It's just too good. It's not allowed at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But their opponents, of course. I mean, look, it is what it is coming into. Actually, no. So look, my brain is fried. It's too hot here. It's too humid. My brain has stopped
Panda,
working.
it's 3v3v3. We're all good. We'll honestly, just keep on rolling.
A new siege mode, 1v1. I'd watch it. I really would. I don't know if I'd cast it, but I'd watch it. Okay, we've had our rosters. Let's get on with the map veto. Of course, Cthulhu. We've had Cafe already here on the mainstream. We've had some pretty stock standard maps across the mainstream broadcast this season. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. But as we turn our heads to the veto tonight between Forsaken Boba and Volpez, well, we might get something a little bit different. And indeed we do, all the way through Chalet. We're heading to the French Alps.
Yeah, look, we've seen Chalet quite a fair bit during the OCL. We've seen quite a few teams adapt to it and change their playstyle quite heavily. Honestly, I am keen to see what Women's League brings us in terms of Chalet, because this map can enable a lot of really cool plays.
Yeah, definitely excited as we get that flyover going through, taking a quick look at the map and what it is going to be entailing. Players looking to come on in, and Chalet, we've seen a lot of it across the region in ANZ. A lot of teams developing those strategies and preparing them. And I mean, honestly, the big thing, Wazoo, the coach for Forsaken 5, plays for Forsaken 5's main roster, and this is a map they've played pretty well.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, Forsaken 5, both in OCL and in Women's League, mainly OCL, certainly promising quite a few good plays and looking to try to take on the whole playoffs in the coming weekend as well. This time, look, it's for Wazoo at the very least, this could be a good attempt at getting the the coaching role done and getting himself at least sorted for any kind of future in case he wants to retire from the competitive play. But for now, look, Thatcher banned out. I wouldn't be surprised if something across the lines of maybe a Maverick will be banned as well on the side of Forsaken Bova, but instead it's an AC and another hard breacher, making this kind of a little bit more difficult for the attack to get that very quick, swift breaching in like Ace, like Maverick does allow.
On to the defense, I'm anticipating something like the Mira Valkyrie. That's probably the most likely combo. And Valkyrie first. There you go. Yes, I say it. It happens. You take those. And I mean, Mira is just a staple ban on a map like Chalet.
Yeah, Mira. I would be very surprised if we shall see Mira to completely sneak past all of that, because the operator can dish out quite some punishment and allow quite a fair bit of ground as well for the defense to walk around, to move around. So honestly, it's a good ban, very stable. Nothing really that sticks out a whole lot, bar maybe that Ace ban, but it's a very understandable one. Ace in his current form is still quite a strong unit by himself. So in saying all of that, we still have operators like Finca, operators like Flores as well, who would still be able to use and abuse all of these positions. And in specific, Flores actually could do quite a fair bit of damage in the utility department.
Look, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I did call Valkyrie and Mira, so I've got my win for tonight. I'm not nearly as good as the girls that are in the server playing right now, but we take the victories where we can here on the casting desk.
Look, yeah, dub is a dub. All I can say, and congrats to you, Panda. Managed to get the prediction for two probably arguably
defensive ban champion of the Women's League. I take that.
Proto, by the way, said cap. You just can't hear him on the broadcast. But look, yeah, win is a win. Let's see if that prediction can translate into a win for either one of those teams, because they both looking to give themselves that 3-pointer, get themselves rolling on the leaderboard and keep on pushing. I'm looking at that Castle pick because I've, as of recently, became a huge fan of Castle plays, given that he's just been recently banned. Not banned. What am I saying? Buffed. Same B word, just different meaning. Buffed, and with 4 now Castle Barricades on board, could do quite a lot of expansions, a lot of that kind of funneling through that one single position. And for Forsaken, look, this could mean that they will be forced to play a little bit more of a vertical, but positioned by Repel pretty much is flawless and should be able to find a nice solid angle to play around.
Yeah, I would imagine that one has come straight down from the OCL. We see a number of players. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if these girls knew about it beforehand as well. But it's something that we see a lot of the OCL players, and we've seen Forsaken 5 pull it out as well. That long angle from Car Garage all the way through to Solarium is such a good position to take control of as an attacker. And the fact that you can do it from such a long range from the basement is huge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've seen a number of teams utilize Buck to the absolute maximum and being able to completely dislodge so many positions. So, in saying that, Repel arguably has one of the most impactful pieces of utility in her hands, so certainly could do quite some damage. But so far, a relatively quiet game. Nothing really fragged out too much. No aggression from either one of the sides. And it seems like Volpes are they just want to play it out in that kind of comfort zone and see what kind of difference it will bring.
Not looking to force anything just yet, but I mean, if you're Volpes, you kind of want to be forcing a little bit of this, and Repel almost finds the opening engagement through those vert angles. The ping's coming through, so there is information available to them. Frag grenade from below, more of this floor being ripped up, and Fish Noodle actually to take the kill onto Angry. Gets pretty tagged herself, and is playing a pretty dangerous position, but right now she's going to be remaining in it, and with that AK in play, that could be big.
Be big indeed. Already quite a fair few frags are going in. Peepo finds herself the better part of butt as well, and that is the Hibana gone and out. With still a player disadvantage, 59 seconds to go. Forsaken 5 could still do quite some damage, despite the fact that the diffuser has been dropped. Diana could really cut off quite a solid amount of those rotations.
Such a power position too. If she can hold on to that, it enables Chloe so much more. Air jab onto the diffuser as well. So once Chloe does secure things, it just makes that defuse position so much harder to be able to contest. Sporky looking to get on into the walk-in closet from Piano, but can't do it. Stun, in fact, going to meet her. We do see the castle barricade down, and that is horrendous timing for Volpes. Peepo looking to keep up the momentum, finds herself yet another frag, but now with the fire in the window, has to go big. Unfortunately, the crossfire is there. Repel from below as well, watching that same angle, leaves it on the Smurf, who I'm not quite sure who that is, but the Smurf could find herself in trouble.
In an attempt to find some sort of a rotation, but there we go. Diana is the one to wrap it all up. Very nicely done for a beginning of F5's matchup here, but for Volpes, not particularly the best case scenario, as we do also get the confirmation that it is Mia or MIA that is playing on the Smurf.
Well, there you go. Unfortunately, it was a case of MIA. The rest of her team was MIA. And she was left to try and clutch things up. But Forsaken Boba, very solid round. They got themselves in. Repel started contesting Solarium and pushed the defense off that position. The rest of the team was able to take it. They were able to open up the avenues into the site and get the plant down. And from there, it was just well and truly out of the hands of Volpes.
Sure did, yeah. Look, clean play, and like I said, Repel's play with that skeleton key was arguably one of the more impactful pieces of utility that they've used, and used pretty much to full extent, so very nicely done. Forsaken Boba are looking to keep on rolling though, because this is far from being over yet, only a single round win, and Volpes will try to replay this round, once again looking to bring in the castle, trying to maybe cut off a little bit more of some of the more specific positions, maybe put a bit more of an emphasis around the trophy stairs, and see how that will really go about it. But really, it's just, it felt like, again, in similar kind of fashion as RDC, it felt just a little bit more of a disconnected play between the players of Volpes, which feels even more weird saying that about them, because they've shown us before that they can do quite a solid communication, a solid coordinated work.
Back into things in round 2 here. Sporky looking to get a bit deep down into the basement there, play some of those available flanks, which, I mean, we didn't really see utilised by Volpes in that last round. On a map like Chalet, you can afford to go very, very deep down to the basement. Look to go for the late round pinches. At the moment, Volpes, they've gone for a slightly more aggressive approach. They have opened that left-hand panel of office. They want to contest library stairs. But, I mean, honestly, the amount of time that it's taken for Forsaken 5 to get into this position, they're going to be able to read into this immediately. Unfortunately for them, Peepo is going to find the open run to Chloe.
Oi, oi, oi. People finding a very huge frag actually on Chloe. This could swing the momentum really, really well here for Volpes. With the lack of those boosts as well for health, this could be an issue. Sporky already tagged up and forced out of that position, which again, used thanks to that skeleton key. Repel doing some phenomenal job, but is holding the angle. Fish Noodle on that flank watch, and actually, as a matter of fact, solo hunting for maybe some of the closer roamers, but none of them are there, and funnily enough, the rest of Volpes already fallen back closer to the site.
They've still got the utility to clear things out and make a plant happen. Peepo still looking to get aggressive, still looking to hold that angle through towards the top of library stairs, but for now, again, momentum slowing down. Repel below, looking to contest things as best she can with that skeleton key. they've also got to worry about the potential play around the drones. Yes, Peepo is there. Yes, she is on the mute. But if they've cleared them out with the skeleton key, she could find herself in Rotera territory.
Going live.
Absolutely, those Rotera drones could dish out quite a fair bit of damage. Minute 15 to go, still quite some time to really play about, and Volpes could certainly drain it down very quickly. That job will be definitely on somebody like Sporky or maybe even Mia, but apart from that, the rest of the team are playing a very, very kind of turtle-like hold, and this defense of the office is going to be very much hinging upon the ability of people to defend this. And funnily enough, no pressure on the double window. Huge misplay here, what it feels like.
It's such a key position for any attacking team. You want to be able to lock down the positioning between the two sites. That master bedroom door is such... I mean, if you can shut someone crossing there, you can't be flanked through Solarium. It just makes it that much harder on the retake. And right now, we head to the final 35 seconds at a 4 versus 5. Things have stalled out just to get Forsaken 5. They do seem like they might have been stymied a little bit here, and this could very much cost them going into the closer of the round. That impact opening into the wall means that they can see onto Mezzanine. Mia looking to play it safe, tucked into the corner, but is on the plant right now. Upside down Repel. Diana's now there on the double window. It's all sudden to come apart, but Repel is denied. Plant also denied as well. The swing on in. Peepo finds a third in the round. Well and truly shutting this one down. If they can't get the kill onto it, and they can't, in fact, it's just Diana stuck on the double window, and it's going to come down to the clock.
Operators, you are out of time.
Absolutely devastating their loss for F5, but Volpes doing a phenomenal job. Shout out to Peepo as well for just keeping her position well and alive, which still leaves me a bit clueless as to how did she stay alive, but well done, well played, and Volpes did a solid job. Overt, by the way, just as announced, lost 7-5 to Warriors, which is quite an unfortunate loss for them, but shout out to Warriors, they keeping their run quite clean.
I mean, that all but it does. It guarantees Warriors first place in next week. So they are now 6 points clear. So it would come down to the final week with them losing the next 2 play days for someone else to take that first place position, which is huge for them in closing out the season with confidence.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, Warriors definitely putting in the time, putting in the work. And honestly, this is looking to be extremely powerful of a position that Warriors managed to take out. But we are still on Volpes versus Forsaken Boba, and Forsaken Boba so far had a bit of a shaky turnout. Yes, well, they managed to claim first round, but after that, play for time didn't really help a whole lot, and Volpes were able to just keep on stalling out for as long as they wanted. The fact that Forsaken Boba didn't really clear out the position in the piano, the fact that there was no pressure on the double window, meant pretty much that, well, so much free real estate that pretty much Forsaken 5 couldn't really take in a matter of just a few seconds.
That's exactly it. Here in round 3, honestly, it looks like we might just get a straight trade of rounds back and forth throughout this matchup. At the moment, I mean, that round, it started well for Forsaken Boba. They started the round phenomenally. It then stalled out, and they just weren't able to close it. But Volpes, they can't be relying on Peepo to pull out the multi-frags every round.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, that's in a similar kind of vein of how the RDC matchup went. You can't rely on Mystique to always frag out, and certainly that is the case here as well. If the rest of Volpes can really pull up, then we could be seeing a huge play. Diana could catch off on the rotation. She sure does, and that is actually a huge misplay. Spooky misses that position in that rotation, and which means that bit of a lack of communication as well.
I think we just may have seen like a Law Vendetta play out. Flores killing Mozzie in the game. I would imagine those two probably don't get along too well in the grand scheme of the Rainbow Six program. But right now, they're looking to set up some of those vert angles, and the LMG could be the gun to do it. Once again, Forsaken Boba have taken some good ground. They've got themselves some good positioning, but they can't afford to let things stall out the way they have in previous rounds.
Hold on, yeah, look, really with a minute and 30, well, now 27 seconds to go, could still have a fair bit of chances. It is down to the fact how much of the ground will Repel open up here with the skeleton key, how much of that ground could be utilized by the rest of her team, and from there on, how much pressure can be initially be put on. If they can find a frag from here in the vertical position, this would really turn the tide.
They are hunting for it. They're trying to do everything that they can to blow this site wide open, and Repel taking down Sporky could be huge, but it's fragged back by Mia with the Nitro Cell immediately. Oh my lord, Mia dead to the frag grenade that blew up her own shield. Chloe hits that one on the head.
A bit of an unfortunate turnout by Mia. Pipo and Toki are the last two players standing. Pipo so far put on some outrageous performance, but right now it's quite a tall order in a 2v5.
A bomb has been located.
The Vulcan shield there for Pipo. If they can clear this out, things become pretty tenuous for her position. Diana does get Toki, and all of a sudden, the positioning, they've walked straight past it. They have no idea that she's playing around blue. They're convinced she's in the site. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter when Chloe's on the job. Shuts it down, holding the angle. Drops on through. Actually, no. She had no idea. She just got shot at and shot back.
I mean, that's one way to go about it. One way to find a frag, and can't blame the gamer. Second point for Forsaken Boba is looking a little bit better now that they've kind of fixed up their play. Maybe it was due to the site itself and how much ground Repel was given. Because I think that this is gonna be one of the big storylines. Firstly, how well can Forsaken 5 cut off some of the roamers, which are usually it's either one or two people on the side of Vulpes, and then how much ground can be given to Repel to open up, because despite all of the big explosive utility, despite all the flank watch, Buck is kind of the name of the game here.
Bomb located
Yeah,
by
he's been
attacker.
such a big pick on this map for the last few weeks, few months even, of play. At the moment, though, look, it's only a 2-1 lead. It's not insurmountable for Volpez, but you could just feel the disjointed nature of their approach in that last round. They got caught out. It's those ones that they need to be winning. Honestly, if they are going to play those deep roams, it needs to be with complete misinformation. They need to get there quickly, not allow any drones to flush them out, and from there they can look to take effect. Which, unfortunately, the drone work from Forsaken Boba has been pretty clean.
Oh yeah, the droning game is just borderline flawless. F5 doing their due diligence. Certainly Coach Wazoo has been putting in quite the time and talks about how to do it. Or maybe he's just telling how to swing better with the
he's a pretty adamant
1911.
advocate of the drone game. Like he's even said, I mean, he
Absolutely.
plays entry, and he's openly acknowledged, even when the supports are out of drones, he'll happily pick up the mantle of playing info.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's certainly that kind of vision can be seen kind of shining through onto the Women's League roster. And for Volpes, look, it's once again series of unfortunate events, them giving away too much ground, and again playing some of those players in a very just disconnected way. That's probably the only way to really describe it. It's very disconnected, bit just shaky, and communications are not particularly clean.
Well, first minute all but gone in this Bar Games defense. Angry, playing a dangerous game from this position. If she gets caught, it does open up that vertical pushing on into Library. So hopefully, if you're a Volpez fan, you will be able to hold on to it. The Rotero is going to walk on, or drive on through. I keep saying walk for these drones tonight, but we'll drive on through, blow up the position, and that exposes...
Maybe this is going to be the next
the
next
walking.
gadget.
No, that's cursed as walking drones.
I mean, it would have been suitable for Mozzie's design.
Could you
He's the
imagine?
Australian.
Bomb diffuser.
Could you
He's
imagine?
not here to, have fun with spiders.
I mean, yeah, you're just like sitting there as an attacker, and all of a sudden you just hear this like tink, tink, tink up the wall. Look up, and it's a spider drone crawling away from you. Like that's just stuff for nightmares.
Halloween mode is upon us. Hello. Look, speaking of Halloween, the Butts internet says peekaboo and goes away. Sporky finds another one. That's not the good round. That's not a good turnout for Forsaken Boba. Losing this many players in this kind of fashion,
By attackers.
not good.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that it was the hard breach player as well. But unfortunately, it basically becomes a quick 2 openers for the side of Volpez, which puts them in a great position to close this one out. If you look at positionings, Diana is in a great spot. Repelled there as well, was looking to bait out. Oh no! Speaking of bait, she's baited herself. That is a frost mat. Luna is absolutely cringing right now.
Congratulations, you played yourself. Unfortunate turnout, but at the very least, Repel can be picked back up. 27 seconds though, barely any time to really go in for the push.
Finds a kill onto Sporky as well, despite having copped it from the Frost there, we will start to see some of this verticality come up. Chloe says, no, I don't want to have that happen to me. Shoots out the map that was available to her. Diana down in the fireplace. 10 seconds left to play. The utility is there for Volpez. It is going to have to be a hard force. Looking to get the verticality. Looking to try and flush out these defenders. 2 seconds. Yeah, Chloe's on the plant, looking for a cheeky little delay or extension of time, rather. Toki finds Diana the first death for her in the round. Repel finds the kill of the diffusers. Down Repel's in the backstop. It's a third. Looking for a fourth. Can't quite find it. She's doing a phenomenal job. Sees the player pushing into games. Toki falls. How? How have Forsaken Boba stolen this round?
I'm just lost for words as well. Peepo still has the full HP, so she can take some of those gunfights, but the time is slowly dwindling. If she can find a better hero of Chloe, this could be a huge, phenomenal swing, and so she goes in for the swing. That's the 1v1, that's the 18 seconds. If she can play for that diffuser, this could be huge, but instead opts to go in for the upstairs presence. Oh no.
The butt is not actually playing vertical. Peepo has played herself. Holy smokes, Peepo, that's not where she is. And Forsaken Boba lose a player to a disconnect. They then lose the opening gunfight. Peepo is just lost.
Lost, flummoxed, however you want to call this. It's just not the best day. Just quite unfortunate. Yes, we are going to be getting a bit of a pause to get Butt back into the play. But in saying that, look, this is a huge turnout for Forsaken Boba, given that this whole round looked extremely dire. And look, hello, we are back onto the cameras. Hello, hey.
But I mean,
I'm lost.
So
I'm lost.
You lose your hard breach to open the round. You then lose the follow-up frag immediately. Immediately, it was within seconds of the disconnect. So 3 versus 5. Repel jumps into a Frost match, gets up, finds 3 kills, and helps clutch out the round. Volpez have to be kicking themselves right now.
Yeah, that was by far one of the more freer rounds that they could have acquired, but unfortunately not the result that they probably would have wanted to find there for themselves. Unfortunate is the only way to really describe this, given that it looked positive. It looked like this is finally something that they could get on board with finally and reduce that round lead, but unfortunately for them, not the case. Very fortunate though for Forsaken Boba, because look, they were looking a little bit dire when Butt disconnected, and like you pointed out before, she was looking to be one of the more impactful players on that roster.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not that surprised that we see a team like Forsaken Boba able to clutch it out the way they do. I mean, you got Repel, who is arguably, actually, no, not arguably, she is one of the best observers for Rainbow Six Siege in the region. So her knowledge of this map and this game is just astronomical. And then to be able to play off of that information, be able to play around the map and utilize the tools available to them, yeah, I'm not surprised at all that they were able to pull that back.
Yeah, the ability to rotate, the ability to read into all of these positions, all of these plays, well done, good call, and yeah, just kept on rolling with the punches after that, so clean play, clean deal, yet another round, 2 more though, before we switch over to the sides, and for Volpez, they need to make sure that they grab 2 more rounds in their favor, because otherwise, say a 4-2 or a 5-1 scoreline, not going to be looking too pretty, given that Forsaken Boba so far looking far more ready for this map.
And well, a 3-1 lead, that's pretty big. They are also going to look to get control. Oh no, Repel, it's not a Frost map this time, it is Sporky, but I had to look at it, get aggressive, try and trade it back, looking for the angle, but no, Fish Noodle on the job says, come on, just land your shots, shuts it down, and it's an even trade across the board.
Even Steven look, but Sporky gone, things certainly not particularly great, but this does instill a little bit more faith for Forsaken Boba, given the fact that we've seen so far Sporky go for a very kind of disconnected roam. The rest of the team is usually still hanging around the area, so in saying that, pretty much a large chunk of free real estate just been given away to Forsaken Boba, and from here on, they just need to focus on getting into the side, which should be a relatively easy task.
Well, we thought that previously. We'll have to see how things carry on here. obviously back
Attackers recovered the
at the
diffuser.
same site from the looks of things, and yeah, exactly the same site. Looking to hold that vert angle once again. Angry, looking to get a bit aggressive. The drone's through into library. We'll find plenty of information onto the positioning, flushing her off the shield as well as she tries to deal with it. And that time, that valuable time, could have been utilized there by Forsaken to move up.
Yeah, Forsaken Boba running out of time really quite quickly with 50 seconds to go. Retero drone is there, quite zoomed in as well, might I add. Not looking too pretty, and the frags need to be found very quickly because with Peepo and Mia still being very much full health, this could be a problem.
30 seconds in play. Chloe doesn't want a bar of it, just throws the frag grenade and deals with it. Angry looking towards the hatch from Backstock in the final 20 seconds. Toki still has all the utility there. Backstock is now a dangerous position as Butt looks to open it with those X-Kairos swinging on into bar, sorry. Might just be able to find the angle she needs to help contest this site. Stuns on through Peepo with a kill on a fish noodle. It's all starting to come apart here for Forsaken Boba. They won't have the time to play around. Someone has to force a plant. Butt finds Peepo with 2 seconds left. Chloe on the plant. They might just be able to steal it once again. Can they deny her? It doesn't look like it. Look at a sneak on through. Butt look at a cover. Does find the down onto Angry. Somehow
No
Forsaken
shot.
have found the
No
plant.
shot.
Butt almost finds a follow-up. Mia just able to connect with that the P10 Roni of hers. They know where the diffuser is. They don't have the utility to stop the or contest. And with Diana on the vert, this is another stolen round for Forsaken 5.
Absolutely misplaced. At the moment we thought that this could have been the big round. Oh no! F5 just win it out like that, and I'm so confused. So many opportunities that Volpes could have just yoinked away and won it out. Just lost in the sauce. 4th round, Forsaken Boba just pulling off heists as if it's nothing, and it's concerning for Volpes.
I mean, is there any way that the mental is redeemable at that stage? It's 2 rounds in a row where you, by rights, should have had the win, but then it was taken from you at the last possible moment. I mean, the first one, but DC's the follow-up entry frag. Immediately after, you still lose that in what was in the end a 2 versus 4 situation. The next round, you find the opener. It's traded back immediately after a couple with gunfights. They then storm their way on with, I mean, it was what, 7 seconds left? Get the plant down somehow with no one able to contest it, and they take the round there too. I mean, honestly, is there some way of bouncing back from that, do you reckon?
Dubious. That one. I think this one has kind of been a bit of a tilter there for Volpes, and it's just, yeah, going to be very difficult for them to come back from that one. If they make it 4-2, they can still find themselves in a realm of still being able to fight, but the way how so far 2 of the rounds that should have been completely theirs were borderline given away to Forsaken. Feels like, look, far too many mistakes been kind of committed by Volpes, and well, one would hope that they would be able to still put up a fight, but it is not looking good.
Well, here in the final round of the half, it's 4-1. Could be a 5-1 for Forsaken if they play their cards right here. Unfortunately, Volpes, they almost seem to be they're the ones that are costing in these rounds. They make these little decisions and it just translates into these big advantages somehow for Forsaken Boba. They need to honestly just tighten things up in this round, because I think if they go down 5-1 here, it's a quick transition into a 7-1.
Oh yeah.
Bomb located by attackers.
Look, at the moment it's need to be the final round before the end of the first half could be the big decider on the momentum. Chloe is already in the library, could do a lot of damage straight off the bat. None of that very wide roam that you can see by the movement of Fishnell, expecting some of those swings. Repel is also on the fireplace stairs, thinking that, well, Sporky is going to be somewhere around trying to frag out. Sporky is, in fact, in kitchen, waiting to find that vertical angle from the breach, and maybe it's Mia who will be able to find maybe a frag for herself, given the P10 Roni is a deadly weapon. But I think for Forsaken Boba, they are starting to find something a little bit is off.
Next Kyra is going to work here for Barton. Diana pings out the mute jammer, goes and pretty aggressively swings onto it, in fact. And that should mean they can look to get those Roteras in and start burning through some of this utility. And Peepo knows that she is in a very dangerous spot right now. Mia on that deep roam in the base, but a pinch here could actually upset the attack for Forsaken Boba.
There is. This is not looking particularly pretty with flashbangs in. Peepo is low on HP. Smoke grenades could do quite some damage, but I think I've seen a bit of a flank from behind, but Butt just keeps on tapping away at her opponents.
Mia was shut down, Peepo shut down, Angry Wolf shut down. Chloe confirms it with the frag grenade, and it's down to Sporky and Toki to try and hold off Butt on the plant. And all 5 members of Forsaken Boba very healthy. Toxic canister through, but the time already taken by Butt is enough. Diana shuts down Toki. It's down to Sporky. She's going to go for the jump out. And Forsaken Boba with the flawless round here to close out the half.
There we go. Forsaken Boba 5-1 scoreline, absolutely shutting things down. Certainly make it look borderline easy for themselves, really, just the way how they're playing it out. For Volpes, not the best performance at all. Very unfortunate turnout. It seems like mental and the morale is completely all shut down. You look at the scoreline and the scoreboard. Look, I mean, Volpes are still putting out the numbers. It's just unfortunately not a bunch of gunfights just not going their way, and it's just, yeah, it's a grim turnout. By the way, as well, a quick update on some of the scorelines. Fallen Angels, fallen to Grumpy Grapes with a 7-3 victory to GG.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't quite go the way tonight. But it's one of those situations. It is what it is right now. Forsaken Boba, 2 rounds away from locking things out with a 7-1 going at the half. Diana is 9-1 right now.
Yeah, look, doing just an absolutely phenomenal job, pushing her team to the absolute maximus. So is the rest of the roster, honestly. Repel and Butt sitting on 6 and 5 frags respectively. Definitely just
10 seconds remaining.
putting in the play, putting in the work, and once again, like, despite some of the players may be having some low stats for their frags and deaths and whatnot, each one of the players has been putting in the effort to, at the very least, contribute just about enough utility to keep the team running. On the side of Forsaken 5 for Volpes, it's just, it was a bit of a mess, I'll admit to that. The defense definitely looked a little bit chalked, and you can see some of those just punched out windows. Nobody's literally peeking that position at all. And Forsaken 5 are still able to just put in that kind of strain onto Volpes and keep on thinking that, oh hey, yeah, there's gonna be a player spawn peeking.
It's all about that mental aspect of the game. The more you can keep your opponents wondering what the hell is going on, the better. Bit of spectator like that as Sporky does get herself in onto the officer balcony, and the drone through will start to collect some of that information. They spot the player on piano for now. Without a mute online at all, the pings come through and deal a decent chunk of damage onto Chloe. Unfortunately, it's not enough for the kill.
But all Fish Noodle as well, roaming around, thinking that there may be some heat coming down. F5 completely acknowledging how impactful that presence down below could be, but expecting quite some heat coming their way. 3v5, technically, is going to be the play of the game upstairs, though, which is going to promise quite a fair few issues later down the line. And with the ballistic shield gone, Butt needs to make sure that she plays her position really well. Pocket barbed wire, which is something that we usually don't see, but completely misses that there's an angle being held by Sporky, and that's the Jaeger out.
Yeah, it's a pretty audacious angle, honestly. It's not every day that you see someone holding that position, but it works for Sporky. She's looking for more, can't find it just yet. Fish Noodle looking to reposition onto the master bed. Here's a drone, or at least I imagine she hears a drone from the sounds of things there. They got time. They can look to play the clock, but Chloe needs to keep herself alive as long as possible.
Trying to find any kind of avenues really for a push. 58 seconds to go. Volpes could certainly open up onto the side quite well. They have the possibility of that. They found the opening kill here, so certainly they could find a collapse, but that C4 from below could do quite a lot of damage. Sporky finds yet another one. That's a double, and that's such a long angle, which does leave Repel and Chloe all down to their own utility here.
But it's definitely Chloe that could be the difference maker. And Sporky down and killed by Repel in a second coming her way. Mia falls too. Diana down below looking for anything. Chloe will be finished off by a frag grenade, but this pinch, this could be a huge pinch from Diana, and Repel relocates into the master bedroom. Explosives galore raining on through, and it's just absolute chaos. 14 seconds in which to play. Angry does find out. It's now down to Repel. Can she deny the plant here? Angry looking to get aggressive. They're pushing on through. Repel for a third. Can she find another one? Swings onto the door, swings onto the angle. The plant is down. Player in from behind. Peepo looking to hold defensively. The swing! Toki just has no clue. It's a quad. It's going to have to be an ace clutch here. Peepo, what can she do? She's tucked in behind the half wall. If Repel has the info, an aggressive swing that pre-fire through could shut it down. Or she's looking to get cheeky on a piano. Does she spot anything? No. The pre-fires will give away the game. Repel has to fire. No! Just misses out. Peepo able to clutch up. But that is not comfortable positioning there for Volpez. They got way too close.
Yeah, look, if that pre-fire initially would have connected to the head of people, that would be a huge and a severe misplay by Volpez, but thankfully for them, they can still log out this round into their favor. 2-5 scoreline, still a 3-round differential here for the, between the two teams. And Forsaken Boba, they nearly managed to clutch it out. Repel with that gun for Frost, that SMG, doing just absolute work. And a bit of a sloppier performance, I have to say, from Forsaken Boba. Borderline feels like they kind of ended up outsmarting themselves rather than trying to play a bit more of a quote-unquote dumbed-down siege where they just, if they would have stacked a little bit more people on, say, the doorways, on just holding the angles onto the mezzanine balcony, it could have been a completely different turnout, but maybe this is going to be the round, given that they are retrying the very same side.
Well, I mean, it's not irredeemable, but the fact that Repel was able to take things back the way she did, single-handedly as a Frost. Honestly, it's not the best gun for those clutch situations. It hasn't got the highest fire rate or the most damage, but she still made it work regardless. And Toki, I wonder if maybe there was a bit of lag coming into play there, because it was a prolonged period that Repel was standing in that master bedroom doorway, and Toki just couldn't connect the shot whatsoever. But here we are in the round number 8, a re-attempt at the bomb site. We do see a couple of changes. No Cade, it is a mute instead. Repel looking to still lock things down, though, on the Frost.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Frost on Chalet is still a great operator to pick, so certainly wouldn't put it past it. Might be able to catch a few of the players with those pog mats, or at the very least slow things down before the push actually commences. Once again, some presence downstairs, but this time it's Diana on a mute rather than a Cade, which changes the dynamic just ever so slightly, but with Butt as well around the library hallway, this should allow Forsaken Boba to have a good presence on both the ground floor and the second floor. Sporky once again just allowed to walk right by that door, shoot out that mute jammer, which in turn offers up a little bit more of the possibilities and opportunities for the Flores drone to go in for the push.
Well, it's 2 rounds now in which that has happened. Sporky's just been able to walk up to the office door, shoot out the mute jammer that was in place. So, I mean, maybe Forsaken letting them get away with a bit much here in this situation. Rotero going on through. It's been seen and will be shot out in the end. So they do now have an idea that this Flores is playing out on the office balcony. Maybe it would be a risky play if we see the relocation of a mute jammer, but I just don't think it's worth it at this stage.
Not really. Well, Chloe just keeps on using her gas grenades, trying to force Angry off that position, but those grenades being eaten up by the Jaeger's devices, which is not great at all. I would imagine that Toki would still have 2 sets of her own frag grenades. Jump in is there. No, that's the hologram denied. So far for Chloe, it's a good stable ground. Minute 15 already remaining, and at the moment, calm before the storm is probably the best way to describe this.
We'll slow down, but with this long angle from the top of library stairs, it's huge. If she could find even a bit of damage over towards anyone on mezzanine, that would make this push that much harder for Volpez going to the final minute. Something has to give, and unfortunately, I think it might be Volpez.
Yeah, Volpez might just give in, but finds one. That's Peepo as well out of the equation. That's your Hibana no more of the hard breaching and successfully just bails out from that position, which will be leaving Mia to just keep holding that position whilst the rest of the team will try to go in for
They
push.
didn't pop the X-Kairos. They didn't pop any of the X-Kairos. They weren't able to get the wall open, and Butt finds a second. Chloe just pumps away with the M590, angry to fall. And Forsaken 5 have gotten away with daylight robbery. Butt in the perfect position, shuts it down, and a flawless from Forsaken Boba. I mean, Butt it was her. That round was because of her.
Absolutely. But just swing the momentum in her favor. Just no chance whatsoever. No, yeah, look. No ground, no chance, no utility been given away. Second Boba, match point, and they're looking to wrap it up relatively quickly in a similar fashion how Viking Army did against the RDC. I mean, you even look at that repel with the double digits as well already sitting there. Just it's a good day for F5.
Yeah, match point, a 7-2 on the horizon here, and a round like that, again, it just chips away at the mental. And Volpez, I mean, it's going to take a huge effort, a massive effort for them to be able to come back from this deficit.
Certainly is quite a long road ahead of Volpez if they do want to come back here and push this into overtime. Which, I mean, theoretically could be done, but again, if they do end up losing out on somebody like Peepo very early on before any utility can be detonated, that is borderline a GG, because apart from that, you don't have any more of the hard breaching utility. All your soft breaching utility pretty much becomes, well, useless in certain scenarios. But for this very side, actually, they wouldn't really need a whole lot of this hard breaching utility. So as long as Peepo can make her way over to that hatch just in that library buffer room, that's pretty much it. That's all that you, at the very least, sorry, bare minimum is all you need. And from there on, the rest of the team can really take over.
I mean, a do-or-die round here for Volpez if they want to try and contest it themselves winning this match. But, yeah, look, I think Bova just have it in spades here after that last round, the way that they were able to steal it. The number of rounds they've literally pulled out from underneath Volpez, it should be theirs.
Absolutely, look, not looking particularly too pretty for them in regards to the whole scoreline, but just being allowed to just run away. Sporky misses out on the opportunity, still thinking that Butt would be hanging around the area, but not for long. Jumps in, Butt could contest the long angle, but at the moment just plays for the close one. She has the half wall, so certainly the ground is hers to cover.
Goes for a bit of a shot through the wall as the trophy, but no one's there now. They've already progressed through the building. First minute gone, and Mia looking to set up the flank watch from up Solarium as they look to cover across and take control in contesting bar and gaming. Repel going to be the first hurdle they meet. And I mean, Butt could. There's no one to capitalize on that air jab, and I don't even know if they're close enough to hear the Solarium air jab go off, which is insane because Butt could pull off a flank of a century.
Absolutely, we've already seen one flank come to fruition and worked out extremely well. Second one could be absolutely devastating, and Repel's position here could be absolutely crucial as well for that crossfire to be made. So right now, Angry just to gets herself sorted with some information. And there we go. There's the opening. Diana gets the better of Peepo.
In library with the TCSG, finds the opening frag, looking to back up Repel. With still a minute to play, they've only just got themselves in that library corridor, and Angry actually forced out of it, but does get taken down by Toki. So I imagine that flank through Solarium didn't quite work out the way she wanted. The Forsaken 5 has some great positions to contest this.
Absolutely, already finding the better of Repel. That is a huge opener, but gone as well. Trading out your one hard breacher for two quite big players is huge, but with the time being that low, the push needs to happen, and the time of is of the essence. 30 seconds to go. Action time for Volpez.
Chloe still has the Toxic Canisters and Fish Noodle playing bottom library stairs, almost in the basement, playing on the landing there, trying to contest anything That should be big information. It's Angry looking to push on into gaming. The swing here could be huge. Mia falls. Diana hitting some nutty shots. It will be a quick flurry of kills, but it leaves it at a 2 versus 1. Fish Noodle with 6 seconds to try and delay Sporky. Can she get the plant down? She's looking for it. Does anyone have any idea? No, it's denial! And it's going to be a win. Forsaken Boba have done it again.
Where's that cover? Where was that cover from Volpes? How was that angle allowed? There's just so many questions, so little answers. With any kind of communication, they would have known that somebody would be coming from that doorway. But yet again, no angle being held. For some reason, a hold into the games room has been done. And yeah, look, just far too many questions, far too little answers really here. And a 7-2 is a well-deserved play by a Forsaken Boba, punishing Volpes.
Yeah, I mean, what? 4 of those rounds should have been Volpes rounds, but Forsaken Boba were able to steal them away. I mean, you had 2 on the attack. You had the, butt disconnect, followed up by the entry that Rappel and Chloe were able to bring back. The next round, same thing. They got themselves in with 7 seconds to play, got the defuse down, then heading onto the defense. I mean, the fact, that Rappel almost clutched up the ace clutch in that post-punt situation. And it's just, unfortunately, a situation where Volpes let them get to that position, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best description that could have been, really. Just Volpes allowed all of this pressure get to them. They allowed some of these rounds to essentially fall into their opponent's hands, and from there on, it's just kind of all felt like a set of dominoes, really. Nothing could have really been helped, and Forsaken 5 just put in the final nail into the coffin there with that final clutch.
We are just waiting on the match breakdown to come on through so we can have a deep dive into the numbers once again. But Cthulhu, heartbreaking for Volpes, for Forsaken Boba. Honestly, just a commendable effort to be able to bring it back from the brink of the situations. I mean, you lose Buddha to a disconnect and then a quick entry frag off the back of it. You're at a 3v5 immediately off the bat. And the girls say, nah, we can still do this. We'll take it as it comes. Rappel jumps into a frost mat and then finds 3 kills with literally a quarter of her health remaining. So
just a local player just gets too angry for the low HP, just nails more than half of a team. It's like one of those just headlines for the newspapers, it seems.
The lower the health, the more dangerous she becomes. And look, it is what it is. It is a Forsaken win at the end of the day. Volpes, unfortunately, that leaves them in a pretty rough spot in terms of the standings.
Yeah, look, it's definitely quite a difficult road going to be from here on out for Volpes if they want to even make it towards the playoffs, because the rest of the teams could still very much just yoink it away, steal it, and keep on rolling for themselves. Look, you have the undefeated so far Warriors, you have the Forsaken Boba, you have Viking Army, who's been putting in the hard yards. Even Grumpy Grapes been putting in some amazing scorelines for themselves. So seeing as how things are working out like this, look, it's a difficult time for Volpes if they do want to get anywhere closer to the dream of the whole playoffs.
Yeah, unfortunately. And I mean, the fact that, there were so many situations where the opening was presented to Volpes and they just weren't able to capitalize it. I mean, you look at that last round there, but in Trophy was spotted, almost fragged out, but then it didn't come. And here we go. The map breakdown is ready to go. So let's dive on into the numbers of that matchup we just saw. And you look at it across the board. Diana, a 3.67 KD, 11-3 at the end of the map. And well, Rappel unfortunately died 2 more times, but she also bagged herself double digits.
Oh, yeah. Look, Rappel certainly been one of the big highlight players, I have to say. Diana as well, keeping up the pace, keeping up the pressure here. And, yeah, look, overall, Forsaken 5 just did quite a sensational job. I mean, you look at, like you highlighted, Diana and Rappel on those solid KDs. Survival rates as well been looking pretty PogChamp, really, for them. Whereas on the side of Volpes, not particularly a brightest day in the office there for them, unfortunately.
No, unfortunate. It does mean they have to look to the remaining 3 weeks of play to try and get themselves in contention for playoffs. Going into the end of the evening, though, our matches for today, we do have our final results across all 4 of them here in Week 4. We can have a bit of a look at that as well. the overall results here in the week. A 7-2 victory for Viking Army, a 7-3 victory for Grumpy Grapes, a 7-5 for the Warriors, and a 7-2 closing out the evening for Forsaken Boba. Not a single overtime, which, I mean, you love to see.
Absolutely. Look, Forsaken Boba definitely keeping themselves afloat. Overt is probably the biggest surprise to me, given how well they've started off their season in week number 1. And then from there on, it just kind of all fell apart. Quite an unfortunate set of events. Warriors, though, they are keeping themselves nice and strong. Same goes for Viking Army, bringing it back. And Fallen Angels, look, unfortunately for them, just things also didn't really work out. Grumpy Grapes, though, I kept on saying this over and over again from some of the previous seasons. They're the team that have a huge amount of potential, and they seemingly improving bit by bit after each and every matchup.
Yeah, look, I mean, Aussie Princess on a return back to comp play in the Women's League is doing pretty phenomenally with the team. Undefeated, now going into the 5th week of play. As we do look at our standings, obviously, with 3 play days remaining, obviously a maximum of 3 points that can be picked up. 12 for the Warriors. Viking Army find themselves in 2nd off the round differential, stealing that one away off Overt of all teams. And honestly, that last dash to the finish line is going to be a rough one. And unfortunately for the Fallen Angels, I mean, there's still a chance. There is still a chance they do make it into playoffs, but that chance gets slimmer and slimmer as the weeks go on.
Yeah, 4 losses in a row so far. It's extremely rough, really, for that roster, despite some of the attempts that they have been making, but quite unfortunate. Meanwhile, yeah, look, I'm definitely looking forward to this top 4 bracket, though, because it's been so far an interesting dynamic, and well, I am curious if Overt will be able to come back into form, because right now, Grumpy Grapes claim one more win. They might just be able to surpass Overt really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it is that round differential which separates them at the moment. So, week 5, definitely going to be an interesting one. It is that sprint to the finish right now here in the 6th season of the XP Esports Women's League. Cthulhu! It's been an interesting week. Another one here. We're looking forward to the final 3 closes, obviously. It's a situation. It's still anyone's guess who could take the title. Warriors looking like a good forerunner, but I still wouldn't say for sure that they've got it in the bag.
Oh yeah, look, there's still plenty of time for us to find out who will be the ones to contest against the Warriors, because so far they will be kind of the end boss battle for whoever does end up qualifying into the playoffs and who will be challenging them. But apart from maybe, well, so far the 2 other top 3 contenders, that is being the Viking Army and Forsaken Boba, the rest of the team so far looking a little bit just not yet ready.
Well, for week 4, that does bring it to an end here. Going into week 5, the stage is set for a pretty interesting run to the closer. And, well, Warriors taking on the bottom team, Fallen Angels. I mean, that does make that first place probably just a little bit harder to contest going to the final 2 weeks of play. So hopefully some teams step up in a big way and look to keep that gap nice and close, closing it out. But for us right now in week 4, we're done. We're dusted. Until next week, we'll see you then.
Powered by AMD 3rd Gen Ryzen processors, the ROG Strix B550F gaming Wi-Fi provides first-class gaming features and style. The B550F Wi-Fi features a robust 12+2 DRMOS-teamed Power Stage VRM design with high-quality alloy chokes and durable capacitors to provide reliable power for the latest high-core count AMD CPUs. Fanless VRM and chipset heatsinks with our StatCool 3+ design keep your system running reliably under heavy load by enhancing passive cooling capacity for critical onboard components. For the best gaming connectivity, you get Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.1, and 2.5 gigabit LAN with Asus LAN Guard. You also get dual M.2 NVMe SSD slots, one with PCIe 4.0x4 connectivity, plus a USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port and Thunderbolt 3 header. Our pre-mounted I/O shield makes installation a breeze. And with USB BIOS flashback technology, your system's firmware can be updated for next-gen CPUs using nothing more than a PSU and a USB flash drive. A pristine Supreme FX S1220A codec with DTS Sound Unbound and Sonic Studio 3 draws you deeper into the action. Communicate clearly with Asus AI noise-canceling mic technology. Asus exclusive AuraSync RGB lighting, including 2 RGB headers plus 1 Gen 2 addressable RGB header, let you make your PC's lighting uniquely yours. ROG Strix motherboards undergo an extensive certification program to ensure the very best compatibility with the widest range of components and devices. For a smooth build process, refer to our list of guaranteed compatible components. Ascend to next gen with the ROG Strix B550F gaming Wi-Fi.
see me with a